Okay, cool, cool, cool. Welcome, everybody. This is my first, I guess you could say, my first ever attempt at doing anything My Hero Academia related on my channel. And what better way to start off than to do a podcast about My Hero Academia? I couldn't think of anything better to talk about and who to talk about it with. Because I am joined, and I will be joined weekly, with my very special guest, my good buddy, my YouTube compatriot, Mr. Rising Sun Reviews.
Yes, and I remember to take myself out of mute. So, good morning, good evening, happy birthday, everyone.
Yes, happy birthday indeed.
Yeah,
Oh
I never know
man.
what time it is, but I'm excited. My Hero is one of my favorite anime, and I like talking about my favorite anime, so I basically forced EA to put me on this podcast.
Yeah, as soon as I found out they were going to come out with a season 5, which I kind of knew that was inevitable since we've been having seasons since 2016?
Yeah, 16, that's when it first came out.
Yeah. So it's been going on since 2016. I I know you're a huge fan of it. I became a huge fan of it. I have a podcast with it's called King of Anime Podcast. It's a little podcast with C Tactics and Satsuki, and they're both not fans. So I was like, well, I don't know who else to talk with other than Rising. So I'll just I'll go with Rising on this, and we'll talk about this show weekly since it's one of the best new animes in my recent memory to come out. And like as far as like shonen is concerned, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's like I grew up with shonen anime. I think you did the same, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just like fun seeing anime like go back to the roots, but do it really well and really fun, and have all the things I love about shonen anime in there.
Absolutely. I think what separates this shonen from most others, cause yeah, I grew up watching Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and I love the hell out of those shows. Those are some of my favorite animes of all time. But I feel when it comes to this particular shonen, and I think a lot of people can agree with this, they say that My Hero Academia is a shonen with like very little filler. It's one of those where it's just if there is filler, it still draws something to the story. You know, it's not like Dragon Ball Z where we're seeing Goku take his driver's license to see if he can drive, and then it never applies ever again.
Well, I think a lot of it it's not there's no fillers, like, it's very tightly woven. Like, every episode, except for the specific filler ones, like, they add something to the story. There's plot development or character development or theme development or something important happening. So it's not like there's no time wasted.
Right. I feel like I could miss like a month of episodes, but then like watch it back to back to back, and I would be so glued and so engaged.
Oh, that's how I always do it. Like, I typically do not watch the show weekly, which will be different for this season. But, yeah, I like to wait till it's over, then, like, watch it all over a span of a week or a few days or whatever.
Yeah, it's really awesome. It's just fascinating just to see. I don't know, just how absolutely engaging, like all not just the show as a whole, but the characters. There's so many characters in this show, and yet I like just about every single one of them.
Yeah, there's never one that I'm sad to see on screen. Like, a lot of the characters I wanna see more on screen because they're cool and I don't think they're utilized enough.
Right. Yeah, they like who the one that has like the arms and he's like a like the eyes come out of his wings. He's like I don't
Yeah,
know. That I want to see what more that guy can do because I feel if given a chance he could shine. Like there were some seasons where some of the side characters had more time to shine, like Kirishima.
right.
Last season he shined so hard
Yeah, he
with
got a
his
lot of the overhaul arc.
yeah, he really that I like Hiroshima. I mean, I liked him beforehand, but like just having him thrown in there with everyone else when they were trying to rescue that girl from what was his name? Overdrive?
Yeah, overhaul.
Overhaul. He must have a move called Overdrive or something. I can't
Or
remember.
he I don't think he did. Oh, maybe he did, I don't know. Like, he had the alchemy-like powers, which I thought was interesting for thematic reasons and sort of a callback to FMA.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know what happened out there. Sorry, I heard a loud bang. But
We
yeah, something happened. They're just like, I love your show. Yes, it's me. Hi. Hello, yes, it's me.
Yes, hello. Yes, it's me. That's going to be weird to say, but hello.
Yes, it's me. Welcome to the show, and thank you for stopping by. We're only talking about a absolutely fantastic show with great characters and just wonderful pacing. I think I said this a couple of seasons ago when it first came out. I feel like there's an anime that comes around like once a generation that like has a huge and heavy influence on the youth, and I definitely feel like My Hero Academia is one of those. It's the next generation's Dragon Ball Z or
Yeah,
Naruto or whatever y'all grew up watching.
yeah. It has the same type of feel like Naruto did for me.
Yeah, it's I don't know how to explain it because this anime is what got my son into anime. He never
Oh, cool.
used to be into anime, and then he watched My Hero, and he's like, "Are there any more shows that are like this?" And I said, "There's a whole lot of shows like this. You just gotta kind of look around." And he was, needless to
And then
say, he was impressed.
you go show him Kill la Kill.
I've shown him Kill la Kill. He's watched a whole bunch after that. He's watched
Oh,
Kill la
okay.
Kill. He's
I might be
seen.
too young for it, so that's why I was saying it.
He recently turned 14. He's
Okay.
yeah, he's getting to that age now where that kind of stuff entertains him.
Yeah, it's definitely an entertaining experience to say the least.
Oh yes. Oh yes, absolutely. Do you have any per se favorite characters that come from this show? I I know some people find, you know, Deku aka Izuku Midoriya annoying. I think he's a cool character. I don't think he's annoying in the sense that other people do where oh he whines, he cries all the time. I think he's
That's what
great.
makes him interesting. Like he gets overwhelmed, and like if I was in a situation, I'd also be very overwhelmed.
Right. This is this is a person who never had he wanted to be a hero so bad, never even got blessed with the gift of any kind of quirk, and he was told at a very young age that he'll never get one. And then to be just given it to him almost not quite handpicked. I mean, even it was handpicked, but it's not like All Might just said, "Person two rows from the left, I pick you." he he actually gave it some thought because of how he went blindlessly in to rescue Bakugo from that little slime monster thing.
Yeah, and I think that's also really interesting from like a thematic perspective. In a way, Deku does not deserve a one for all, but he's happened to like be in the right place, and in that time, he did something to really stand out.
Yeah, yeah, that's when All Might was like, "You too, young Midoriya, can be a hero too." Yes, it's me. Said I thought the episode was good. Also, the OP is good. Yeah, they always have really amazing intros. Like the OP, I want to say it was no, season 3 or season 4. Those are like some of my favorite openings.
Yeah, the song didn't really impress me all that much. Like it was okay, but like it didn't excite me. But maybe if I like see it more, I will.
Yeah, yeah. I thought the ending was pretty good too. Like after everything's all said and done, they always have the endings where they're enjoying themselves. They're just enjoying themselves at the end. They look so happy. I think there was one season where they were just like all cowboys.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I
Or-
actually don't know if I watched the ending this time, if I was paying attention to it. But yeah, the endings always had them like out of the typical story, just like in cool costumes.
I think Deku is as is as good as any main character. Also, good contrast with Shigaraki.
Oh yeah, I think that really makes him interesting. And Shigaraki too is an amazing villain.
Yeah, yeah. He's creepy looking. He's got that freaking hand face thing going.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah. S- but yeah, some of my favorite characters from this show, you know, you got Todoroki, aka Icy Hot. he's he's
That's
just got this crazy power where he's like, yeah, I use fire. Yeah, I use Well, well, no, he used ice first of all, and he refused to use the fire, and then he
Well,
just
yeah,
went
he
on.
was fire, and even with just ice, he's still like the strongest kid in the class.
He really is. But then when I think it was season 2 when they started fighting, well, Deku told him, use your powers. It's yours. F what your father says.
Yeah,
So then he used the fire side, and oh, that was such a beautiful
it became
scene.
even more ridiculously overpowered.
Yeah, he really did.
Yeah, that was. It is interesting too, like how unbalanced the characters' powers are. But I feel like it also makes the story fit. Like in a way, they all have their own quirks; they can all stand out. But just like some people are so ridiculously strong, but the story like works with that. There's like sometimes resentment for the stronger ones, or looking down on those who are weaker, and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is crazy. Like some are better than others. Aren't isn't this classroom that they're in supposed to be the best of the best because they're class 1A?
Yeah, I think so. Because they were talking about that like in season 2 with like Wang B and like the rivalry there when Wang A basically was the strongest.
I always
Though they're supposed to be strong.
yeah, I always wondered how some students got into that classroom. You know what I mean? Like some people, I understand. You're like, okay, you got. I never know his name, but the guy with the bird face that has that dark
Yeah,
shadow, he's so
Cookie
freaking.
Rumi.
I think that's his name. Yeah, he's so freaking powerful. And then you have just random people that can talk to animals, and all of a
Yeah, well,
sudden,
especially, like, the entrance exam was like defeating the robots and also like being a hero and saving people. So maybe the guy who like talked to animals, he was able to like find the people who need rescued and help out in that way.
yeah, that's the only way I can possibly think that they made it in to uh
Yeah.
to 1A. But
I mean, the only reason Deku got in is because of the points for being a hero. He didn't actually stop any of the robots that earned points.
that's true. That's true. Didn't he technically like fail the first time, but because well,
Well,
like
no, it's like he did not know how they were scoring it.
oh, that's that's
Like,
right.
yeah, like they did not tell him that the hero points were a part of it.
Yeah, and he like did well with that.
Yeah, he saw like I think it was Uraraka that he saw was in trouble, so like he jumped up there, punched the giant robot that wasn't worth any points, and then destroyed his body in the process. But then he
Yeah,
got like 50 hero points, and that was enough.
yeah. Oh man, I remember the seasons when he kept like flicking his finger, and he kept constantly breaking his finger.
Yeah,
It was already broken, and then he like broke it even more and left permanent scars on
it
his
is
hand.
interesting how there are permanent scars because of it. Like you can see that on his hand even now.
Yeah, I like that. I like how it shows like you see his growth as a
Right.
character. It's really impressive. Let's see. Yes, it's me, Sid. Who would win with a guy with ice and firepower or the guy with the tail? I mean, Todoroki defeats. Oh, I don't even. What is that guy's power? He just has a really strong tail.
Well, he also is like a martial artist, but yeah, I think his quirk is just his tail, and then he's also a really good martial artist on
Right,
top of it. So
right.
that's yeah.
So I think Todoroki has him 100%. No offense to Lion Tail, but I mean
Yeah.
he's just a really really strong character, and we haven't even talked about Bakugo, who is one of the he is extremely strong, but he's one of those characters where all it'll take for him to just have just one bad day and he's a villain, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, I think I could see it being that way. It's interesting how the League of Heroes thought that when they went after him in season 3.
Yeah, that's probably one of
Season
my
3, yeah.
that's one of my favorite seasons. That's when All Might gave up the last of his power to take down
Yeah,
uh what is it? All for
all for
One?
one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I still cry at that scene. Subbed and dubbed. Speaking of
I've
which,
I've watched that countless times.
oh, that's such a great scene. What do you prefer, subbed or dubbed?
Definitely the dub. I just think all the voices are really good. They make the characters stronger and all that.
Yeah. See, it's crazy because I don't usually watch shows dubbed, and it's not because I hate dubs. It's because if I really want to watch a show and I don't want to wait for the dub to come out, I always would just watch the sub first. And whenever it comes out, it's always going to be Japanese. And I
If
think
you
when
watch
I
this, you kind of have to do that unless it's like one of the same day dubs.
Right. And I think the first time I ever saw the show, I decided to watch it dubbed. Only because, and the reason that swayed me was because All Might was voiced by Chris Sabat, and I said, "Say no more. let me,
Yes.
let me watch this." And I absolutely like. I think this is one of my shows that I like the dub better than the sub.
Yeah, it is for me. Typically, like if I'm watching something weekly, I can't watch the dub, so I'm fine with the sub.
Yeah,
And a lot of time, and there's some shows where there's just the dub isn't good. But yeah, this one's definitely one of the best dubs, at least recently, that I've seen.
yeah. Everyone's perfect. They picked the perfect guy for Midoriya. Bakugo's great.
Yeah.
Uraraka, freaking All Might, you name it. Like I think everyone's pretty good. Even the person they got to do the voice for that person that has the grapes on his head is a
Oh, yeah.
perfect dubbed.
Yeah, he's like has that sort of nasally voice, which just fits him so well.
Yeah, because I mean I watched the sub and I'm like, okay, it's good, it's fine. But then when you hear him dubbed, he's like, my name's Moneta and this is my superpower. It just I don't know, it
Yeah.
fits him so perfectly. But yeah, overall, this show is I can't really explain it other than that it's all tight knit. It's all very well the story. I mean, when you think of the story, sure, it's the typical underdog rising to become a hero and do something for the greater good. Some people like to compare this to a movie that came out years ago called Sky High, which it's basically a movie about kids becoming like being taught by other superheroes to become heroes. And I can
Yeah, it's
see,
like the concept here isn't anything original, but that's fine because like they do the cliche concept, but they just do the concept really well.
yeah, and I I don't know. I don't think I'll ever get tired of the underdog story, whether it be
Yeah.
Rocky, whether it be Deku, whether it be just any kind of rising from the ashes to just become this super. He doesn't even have to be super strong. At least defeat the villain, even if he has to help people. And I think that's what's cool about Midoriya is the last real big arc with Overhaul. He needed help to defeat him, and that girl helped him, and it cost one of the other students their
Yeah.
powers.
Yeah, like the overhaul arc blew me away. Like, what was his name? Lemillion was his hero name, but yeah, I was shocked that Lemillion lost his powers through that. I thought like his fight with Overhaul was one of the best in the entire series. And what I loved about that fight was it like yes, Lemillion lost, but he still like really like the battle would not have been won for the day without everything he did for Eri. And like even though he lost, he still got an amazing chance to shine and continues to do really cool stuff afterwards.
Yeah, the I loved I loved his attitude even after this man got his powers taken away. He's just like, well, yeah, I don't have my powers. I saved the little girl, and that's all that mattered. And I was just like,
Well,
oh,
and he was still fighting even without his powers.
right, right. He was killing it, and in
Yeah.
in this particular episode, he was just helping out just by floating down the river.
Yeah, it was dumb, but I loved it.
I thought it was. I love it. He was just like, I don't. What is happening? I don't know. Something. which,
Yes,
which, by the way, Lemillion's dub voice is perfect too for
it
him. Like
is.
it really is. Yeah, you're right there. You're right there. Yes, it's me. The season is only on sub because the dub isn't out yet. Yeah, and again, it stinks,
Yeah,
but
I'm kind of sad about that.
me too. I could have swore there was some. I don't know if it's because of the pandemic, but there used to be things where they would release same day dubs along with the
Yeah,
subs.
yes, they. I think they have to like be a certain amount ahead, so that's logistically possible.
Yeah, but I get it. Like they probably have to get the script, they have to translate it, they have to be like, okay, what lip flaps will match with this, so they need time to do it. But
Yeah, it sounds like something they can do right away. So the series in Japan has to be ahead enough. They have to have the logistics in place of Funimation to do it.
yeah, and it's a bummer, but what can you do? We're just gonna
Yeah,
have to wait and be patient. But you know what? It's My Hero, and I don't mind waiting and rewatching it again with
I'm
the
okay with
dub
that.
on. I
Yeah,
literally
this is
did
definitely a
that.
show well, when I was doing a video like last year on like the overhaul arc, I like rewatched half of it just to make the video, and I loved it even more the second time.
Hmm. Yeah, I swear I do that. I did that like a couple years ago when I was watching
Yeah,
it with my son, where I was just like, all right, I'm all caught up here. Now let's watch it with him, and then watch those
yeah,
parts, the dub, and it's just all. So some parts just sound funnier in the dub whenever it's just like done, especially with grape juice and his goofiness.
yeah.
Oh, the precious little. Oh, he's just a perv, but it's funny.
And I think it's cool, like with comedy, especially. I think the connotation in the voice and that being matched with what they're saying really lets it be a lot funnier and more impactful.
Hmm. Yeah, the writers are pretty good whenever they dub this,
Yeah,
and
that too. Well, that too. Plus the great actors combined, it all comes together to make a great dub.
yeah, and it just Christopher Savage just incredible whenever. I mean, he can't do it anymore. I mean, even though he can every once in a while be the giant All Might dude where he just puffs
Mhm.
up or whatever, but I missed him. I missed it whenever he still had the power and he would be like, "Young Midoriya, because I am here."
Yeah,
He was so great.
yeah. I guess it's me seeing like last time each season the dub new up were weeks to over a month apart. I think at the start they were doing the same day dub still, but then they ended up falling behind. I think just naturally, and then the pandemic also slowed them down for for the last few episodes.
Yeah, I
Because they, like,
definitely
had to move up to doing all the voice acting from their homes, which that I'm sure was, a challenge.
right. And I don't know how things are now. I don't know if they're still recording from home or if they're back in the studio again, but they're doing different guidelines. I don't know. I just know like things are different now and they could probably use that to their advantage. Not sure, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. It sucks that that we have to wait for it, but still,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind watching it again just to see just to see how different it is from the sub. But on that note,
Plus
shall we? Oh, go ahead.
yeah, plus we get to watch it a second time, so I'm okay with that.
Oh yes. Shall we talk about the actual episode that came out yesterday?
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Let's do it then. So this was basically a lot of people are saying it's a recap episode, and I would say
Yeah.
yes and no.
It's
Be-
it's I feel like it's filler. It's not a recap because it's, like, all new stuff, but the
mm-hmm.
whole point of the episode is, like, here's all the cast, remember them and their powers.
And as much as I love My Hero Academia, one of the things I cannot stand is the fact that of how they tried to remind us every single season of what each person does. It's like if you don't know what Deku does by season 5, you just need to just quit the show.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it works for, like, the side characters because, like, yeah, the tail gun is like, "Wait, what does he do again?" Or some of the characters like that.
Yeah, I mean, if they're a new character, by all means, tell me what they do.
Or if
But
it's a character that's going to be important that's mostly been in the background so far.
right, and I'm fine with that. But I don't know. It's just a little nitpick of mine where all I whenever you see these recap episodes, and sometimes during the show when you're just enjoying it, you hear the announcer go, "Bakugo does this fire explosions." Yes, I know. I was there all those seasons ago.
Yeah. So, well, and I also feel like the way My Hero is structured, from what I can tell about the manga, is like it's very quick to jump into the story. So in a way, I think this filler type episode to like ease us back into it just helps with the pacing of it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it might feel like they're jumping into it too soon. And I think having letting the story have a bit more room to breathe before they jump into the big moments lets it work better.
Mm-hmm. There, I forgot what season it was, but there was a season where I was super excited for the start of the new season, and all they did was talk about what happened the past season, and it was like a swimming episode where they just were at the pool.
Yeah,
I
I think
hated
that was
that.
season three.
Yeah,
Yeah, that really turned me off from season 3 at the start, but then, like, 4 episodes in and I was hooked, so
right, right. So I didn't mind this episode only because, like you said, it was a mixture of kind of recapping and reminding everybody of powers, but then at the same
Yeah,
time showing what they could do and kind of progressing the story at the same time. So I thoroughly enjoyed this episode.
yeah, it wasn't like the greatest episode ever, but it was
No.
fun. It was cool seeing the characters again, so I'm content.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It recapped the last episode of season 4, which was amazing, by the way. Endeavor
Yes,
standing
they start off with,
tall.
and I never knew like how badly Endeavor was hurt in that battle either, or so I had forgotten.
Right. Yeah. They
Well, because
really.
like he literally could not move. He was using his fire to propel him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. He like after he was standing tall with his arm raised high, after
Yeah.
basically just saying "I defeated you" and almost kind of like I don't know, like a tribute to All Might as well, saying "I'm the number one now."
Mhm.
and yeah, he at the very tail end you saw him like literally he was about to pass out, but then old Bird Boy went and saved him from falling.
Yeah. And then you saw, him in the hospital, like, hooked up to the IV and the cast and everything like that.
Yeah, yeah, he got pretty messed up. I mean, those, what are they called, momus or
Nomu? Yeah, no.
nomus?
Yeah, I feel like this one was made, like, specific to be really strong, so
Yeah, they've always been strong in the past, especially the first season where
well, I feel like this one was stronger because, like, All Might was able to defeat that one, though he struggled. This one, it felt like it was stronger, Endeavor was at his full power,
mm-hmm, yeah,
plus he had, Hawk helping him too, so
speaking of Hawk, that shit at the very end when he's talking to, is his name Dobby?
yeah, Dobby.
Yeah, he's talking to Dobby, and I'm just like, okay, we got a rat. who who is who is who is Bird Boy Hawk, and he's a villain? Is he pretending to be a villain? I
Yeah, I'm not convinced though. Well, we saw, like, Hawk be able to, like, risk himself during the battle with Endeavor against the Nomu. So, yeah, I feel like there's more to him than just being a villain. At least I hope there is,
yeah, I hope
because
so
he seemed
too.
like a cool character to like fill out the older heroes, the non-kids.
Right. He's one of the top heroes, I
Yeah, I think he's
think.
like number 4 or 5 if I remember right. I could be completely wrong. Completely
Right.
wrong.
And he's like he's kind of like a cocky, hero because he raised up the ranks so quickly and he's super strong.
Yeah,
And now he's talking with the one of the League of Villains. Yeah, it's very
yeah.
interesting.
So did the League of Villains like somehow propel him forward like that so they can infiltrate the hero society?
It makes one wonder. I definitely think some stuff's gonna happen. I do know that there's going to be some more school stuff. If you want to call that filler, so be it. But there's gonna be uh 1A going against 1B and some like, I don't know if it's like a training simulation or just they're just fighting again because
Okay.
that's all they do is just, all right, we got this tournament. Now we got to have another one. And now we got to do another one.
Well, it feels like the way My Hero is structured concept-wise, they're kind of stuck in the type of arcs they can do because you can have the heroes fighting the villains, but because the heroes are kids and like still in school, you don't want that to happen. So the adults would try to prevent it as much as possible. So that
Mm-hmm.
means you typically either need a training exercise to go horribly wrong, or is like you practice a test of some sort or a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they're kind of stuck in making this, like using the concept well. And the first time that did not happen was season 4 when the heroes were intentionally getting into that fight.
Right. Yeah, they kind of had to get into that fight. A couple of times they had to do that. Season 1, they had to fight the League of Villains. Season
Well,
3, they had to rescue Bakugo.
well, yes, but in those fights, the kids were not supposed to be in the fight. Like something went wrong for them to do so. The overhaul arc was the first time where the kids were
Oh, that's
intentionally going to fight the
that's right.
hero or to fight the villains.
Yep, that's right. You're right. They had Deku, Lemillion. Uh, was Bakugo in that one?
No, because he doesn't have his hero license.
Oh, that's right, because he just can't keep a cool head. We had Kirishima was in
Yeah,
there.
Kirsten was there. Uraraka was helping too,
That's
though I think
right.
she stayed out of most of the action, but she was there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I think one of the other girls was there too.
Yeah, it was either Froppy or Momo. I can't remember.
I think it was Froppy.
Yeah, Froppy's always doing stuff. Freaking people
Yeah.
love themselves some Froppy. She's cool.
I wonder if Araki could get more time to shine because I really like a character, but she hasn't really done much since like season 2.
You're you're right. She really hasn't done much. I mean, I feel like season 4 she was like non-existent in season
Yeah,
4.
like she was there kind of like even in the battle against Overhaul, she didn't really do anything, which is sad because it felt like that could be a really cool time for her to contribute to the fight, but they didn't have that happen.
I swear in season 4 they focused more on the girl who has those earphone jacks for ears than they did
Yeah,
Uraraka, and that was in the filler arc when it was about the student or the what is it, the festival?
yeah, and I actually like that arc because I think that was what I wanted, where it was for the story like slow down a little bit and show them more than just as heroes.
Right. Yeah, and
So
it was fun. It was a fun little change of pace where we got to see that, and I did thoroughly enjoy that.
yeah. I
I
found
did.
the villain annoying for a while, but I ended up coming around to liking him too.
Oh, you mean the one that was like a magician or whatever?
Yeah,
Oh, that guy was annoying.
I liked him like in the last when he finally started fighting Deku and like understanding him more.
Hmm.
But before that, I was like, okay, this guy's still. They just threw him in here because he needed the villain. But now they might actually do something with him. So
And
if they
they
do, then I'll be happy.
he had that freaking sidekick that was like brainwashed. It almost kind of reminded me of like a Harley Quinn type thing because Harley Quinn fell in love with the Joker because the Joker was in Arkham Asylum, and she was one of the nurses. She was like a therapist, and the Joker basically convinced her, through talking to her like, "Hey, you want me to break out of jail?"
Hmm.
And that's what it kind of reminded me their dynamic because I think she was just a regular person and then just saw what he was doing and she just became so enveloped in that life and
Yeah, and like
her
you can
per
tell, like the villain felt bad about it, like near the end, like he was trying to get her to escape and like take all the blame himself.
yeah.
But yeah, wasn't she like a computer hacker too? So like that could tie into like her being a hero later on.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't her quirk something like the more she loved somebody, the stronger they got?
Yeah,
That's so strange.
it's like very specific for this.
Right. It's like, what if they happen to love an item of food? Does that food like get really strong? If they love their dog, does their dog get like superpowers?
That would
so,
be cool. Now I want to eat superpowered food because I'm hungry.
some
Oh yeah, I haven't had dinner yet.
oh, oh bummer. Yeah, some of the quirks I wonder, like how were these given to certain people? Like the villains have very evil like just quirks,
Right.
but you don't see the villains have like these very average quirks or like quirks that you could see like could potentially be good but they're used for evil. I always think to myself, well, that person was probably born to be a villain with that quirk.
Well, in some of the cases, I could see it going either way because like Bakugo's power is like purely destructive. Deku, he has a super strength, but it's amazing for destroying stuff. So you could see that easily also being
That's
villainous.
true.
So is that very much different than Shigaraki's decay power?
Yeah, the decay power is very very on the nose. How would they ever be a hero with that decay power? I mean, possibly.
I feel like they could. There's no reason why they couldn't. Like they could rescue people, a building fell on, so they can like get the building out of the way. They could be more of the offensive hero like Bakugo, like destroy the enemy and subdue them or whatever.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite villains that I wish made a comeback, but probably won't this season, was Stain.
Ah, he was interesting. I feel like they wrapped up his arc too soon for him to be as good as like everyone seems to like him. I thought, well, he was interesting, but then he like died off too soon. Though I know he didn't die, but like he just went away.
Right. Like, I like the fact that, you have the League of Villains, they have their, we want to control this, we want to dominate that. Stain was more, you don't deserve to be a hero. You deserve.
Yeah.
He picked and choose. Like he didn't even look Deku's way because he's like, you deserve to be a hero. I believe you.
Mhm.
But when it comes to
Yeah,
someone
like he
like
had nothing
this,
against Deku.
Right. When it comes to someone who wants to pretend to be like, what's his face's older brother? Yeah, he had it out for them, and yeah, that I wish I agree. I wish that his arc wouldn't have went as quickly as it did because his was incredible, and I almost
Well,
wish
I
he
think
could have been the main villain in a way.
yeah, I feel like that's the very interesting concept too. Like you have the society with all the heroes and their noble goals and all that, but there's also a lot of implications that that many of the heroes don't actually have noble goals. They're just doing it for themselves and they're selfish. So I think
Right.
exploring that through Stain or through however how they do that, I think that's what makes the story something more unique.
Exactly. Exactly. But but yeah, that I think that was there anything else that happened in this particular episode?
I mean, we had the part with Endeavor at the beginning, which is really
Mhm.
cool. We had the part at the end with Dobby and Hawk, which is
Mhm.
foreboding. And in the
Oh,
middle was just the training emergency drill thing, which
yeah.
was okay. It was fun to see.
I think we were going to touch upon what do we think what's going to happen this particular season. And to be quite honest, I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen. I do know if I was to take a guess, we already know there's going to be a fight between Class 1A and Class 1B, some kind of
Yeah.
tournament, test of power, whatever. Do I think the League of Villains are going to be in this season? Yes. Do
Yeah,
I
this season definitely. I don't know if they'll be in the next arc or if they'll like wait until the class 1A and 1B thing is over.
Yeah, I think that'll happen first, and then there's going to be just something that happens. I think it's going to kind of intertwine with. Uh, there was something that happened at the very end of season 4 with Deku. He had a dream, and
Oh yeah.
I think it was the past users of
Well,
One for All.
if you watch the like next episode preview, I think they're mentioning that he'll start learning more about the secret of One for All.
Yeah. So I think that'll be focused more this season, his power and looking at the lineage of it.
Yeah.
But as far as what these villains are gonna do and when they're gonna strike, I I feel like it's about time that they show their faces because last season Overhaul technically a part of League of Villains or is he just his own
No.
person? I thought
He's a
so.
we they were allied for a while, but yeah, like Shigaraki, I don't know if he killed Overhaul, but he like just destroyed his hand so he couldn't use his powers anymore.
Right. Yeah, he pretty much I mean, I think he was pissed because Overhaul killed one of his buds. So then
Yeah, so he wanted revenge.
yeah, and that was so crazy. I remember the first time I saw that, and the guy literally blew up. I went, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, like she was the character who like we thought was like in the background, and My Hero is not a show that kills characters, and then she just went boom.
I know that was so unexpected. It caught me by surprise, where I was
Yeah.
literally like,
Well, they
"Whoa!"
also killed Night too, and that
Y-
was also a complete shock.
Yeah, that was crazy. So it's been a while since the League of Villains have done anything. I think they're going to make their presence known this season. I think they're going to try to take back All for One, and they're going to free him because he's in jail right now and rotting
Yeah,
away.
so if they try to bring him back, and there's also All Might, like him trying to do something even without his powers, like which I think that was one of the most interesting parts in season 4 that they kind of just like put in the background was
Hmm.
was him hearing that he was going to die because of Nida's prediction, and then Deku and probably through Eri being able to defy Nida's predictions, so maybe something will happen there.
Yeah, yeah, it's really really crazy. I'm really looking forward to what's gonna happen this coming season. I'm
Yep,
always I
it'll be a
always
fun
enjoy this.
time.
Yeah, I always enjoy this time of year just because you know I swear it's like, well, last season I guess it came out in October, but it's usually around this time in
Yeah,
the
it's only spring
springtime.
and summer.
Yeah, whenever My Hero comes back, and it's usually 25 episodes long, and hard to believe. What are we on? Episode 89 now? I think it was
Yeah, I
89.
guess. Sounds right. I mean, what? 3 episode seasons and 1 12, so that's like 87. So, yeah, 89 sounds right.
That's crazy. It's hard to believe that we're at 89,
Yeah, getting close to 100 episodes.
where in Dragon Ball Z, 89 episodes, you'd probably still be fighting the damn
Still be on
Saiyans.
Namek.
You'd be on Namek. You would. I swear, Namek took up a third of Dragon Ball Z. Whenever they would show
Yeah.
the reruns, you'd be like, "Oh, this is a Namek one." Click. I mean, I like the Namek saga only when Goku started fighting Frieza. That was when shit was like amazing.
Well, Namek is when I started like getting on or watching Dragon Ball Z. I saw it on Toonami.
Mm-hmm.
So like the part I start was with Gohan and Krillin like trying to find the Dragon Balls there.
Oh
Trying to
yes.
fend off Frieza, Vegeta. The
Ginyu
Ginyu Force showed up.
Force. Oh yes. Oh yes. That was fun. I enjoyed that. It's probably one of my favorite sagas. To be honest, if Dragon Ball wanted to end at the Frieza saga, it would have been one of my all-time faves. I mean, it still is. I just wish like something like you wrapped everything perfectly. Goku fulfilled the prophecy of becoming the one and only Super Saiyan, defeated Frieza.
Yeah, like avenged all the fallen Saiyans.
Right, and that to me is like the perfect ending they could have gone with. But I get it. You know, they wanted to make money.
Yeah, it's like that's popular. Okay, let's add androids and Cell and Majin Buu and all that.
The Cell saga, I thought, wasn't too bad. Like, when it got to Cell, and then you saw Gohan with his one hand, and, you know, his father behind him, and destroys Goku, or not Goku, destroys Perfect Cell, and Perfect Cell's, I'm perfect! And he just gets,
Yeah.
like, that was awesome. The Buu saga, that's when it kind of started getting really dumb, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, again, they could have ended after the Cell saga and it would have been fine as well.
Right, that was another perfect ending, too. Goku had died again, and he would have
Yeah,
been
like
gone.
it was like Gohan was taking over, but then they realized, wait, if we want to keep going, Gohan's not any cool, so let's like throw him back in the background.
See, they could have made Gohan cool, which makes me sad.
Yeah, and I always enjoyed watching Gohan, seeing him grow up and becoming strong like that.
Like Gohan, remember when they did like that alternate universe where Trunks had like Gohan as his trainer, and Gohan like had one arm missing, and he had this beard and one eye. He looked cool then.
I don't know if I saw that, but yeah, I'd take that.
But they turned him into this goofy nerd that would dress up as the Great Saiyaman, and I don't know. He just wasn't at all cool at all.
Yeah, they had a cool character. They could have like shown him more grown up. Yeah, that's what they did. No.
They ruined it, but I get it. They just wanted to bring Goku back to
they
save
need
the
Goku
day.
to be the cool character because he's like the iconic hero.
Yeah. And one of these days I'll probably talk more about Dragon Ball and Super, since I finally caught up with Super.
It's not supposed to be a Dragon Ball podcast, but
I mean,
that's how podcasts go.
Right, they're both shonens in a way.
Exactly.
Right. Well, I think that's all the time we have for this episode. I'm sure the next episode we're gonna have a lot more. I'm pretty sure. I hope anyway. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I have the link to Rising Sun's channel in the description. If not, I will definitely put that in there next time, and I do apologize for not having it in there. Pretty sure it's in there.
It in there.
It's not. Son of a bitch. I forgot to put it in there.
Spam it in the chat.
All right, go ahead, spam it in the chat, and I'm going to put it in there next time so that we won't have this issue the next time.
There you go.
It's in there?
I put it in the chat, so yes, you can see what I said.
Okay, perfect.
Alrighty. I don't know how delayed your stream is.
I was gonna say normally it should be instantaneous.
Yeah, probably...
Oh well, I don't know what happened. Anyway, next time I will definitely put it in there. See ya. Yes, it's me.
This was fun.
Yeah, this was fun. We'll have to do it again next Sunday. Like we'll do. Alrighty. And for everyone that were listening, take care and see ya next week.